Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this one, we are looking at 5 top attacking tips, how to create more chances, how to score more goals. Attacking on this FIFA, I definitely think is a lot better than the last FIFA, but there's a few important ways of doing it. So this video is going to be dedicated to showing you 5 ways that you can do it. When I do these type of videos, the first place that I'm always going to start off with is the team. So the team are important. Obviously with my team, it's going to be a little bit easier to score goals than if you've got a 500k team. But I'm going to talk to you about some of the important stats that you should look for, important things you should want when it comes to scoring goals in your team and your tactics. Defence, we're not really going to look too much at them. But what I will say is, have meta players. By meta, I mean that means the most efficient tactic possible. No, most efficient tactic available. If you don't have a very meta team, you're going to struggle. For example, as great as James Rodriguez is in real life, he just isn't very good on FIFA. He's got no pace and no weak foot, so he's going to be very slow, and it's going to be very easy for people to stop you scoring with him. Simply put, he's just predictable. So one of the main things we want to look out for when we're trying to improve our attack is to have fast players, because one, if they're fast, it means they can get away when there's any space, and 2, players with good weak foot. Having a good weak foot makes you less predictable. I would say for a good attacker, you want at least 4-star, because if you have 4-star weak foot, it basically means you can go either way and shoot on either foot, and you've got a very good chance of scoring from the good shooting positions. If you have a good weak foot, people can't just show you onto the weak foot and make it so you can't score. The only player with a bad weak foot in my team really at the moment is Mohamed Salah, and that's simply put, I spent a lot of coins on R9 and I didn't have many left over, so I needed a cheaper player in there, which Mo offers me. So weak foot, sort that out. Skill moves is a big one. You'll notice in my attack there's not a single player with less than 4-star skills. If you have 4-star skills, you have access to most important tricks in the game, in particular the scoop turn. 5-star skills is really nice for things like the Elastico and some more advanced tricks, the running scoop turn. Again, having tricks in your locker is important. One of the tips we'll show later on will be about having tricks and how you can use them to open people up. But having a good team is important. You don't have to have a team like mine. You can build very cheap teams full of great players. For example, Quincy Promise, he's quick, he's got decent dribbling, okay, physical, good shooting, 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, and he's about 1,000 coins. So you don't have to have an insane budget to get good attackers. Obviously, the top attackers are going to help you a lot more, but you can do it with cheap team. First tip, have a good team, have meta stats, have good weak foot skill moves. It's going to make a big difference. Before we move on to some gameplay clips and a few ways of breaking people down in game, we're going to look at the tactics. The second one that I'm going to look at is tactics. Make sure you check out some of the other videos we've done on tactics, because tactics are a key part of attacking on this game, whether you like it or not. There probably is going to be enough to have a second part to this video, so if you enjoy this, find it helpful, let me know and I'll make sure I do a second part. But let's look at the tactics. For me, the 2 main tactics that I toy between my defensive and attacking. The 4-2-3-1 is a very good all-around tactic that is well balanced. You can keep the ball in it, it's very good defensively, and it is pretty good at attacking, but sometimes with that one striker I really do struggle to break people down, so I'm willing to adjust and move to my 4-4-2 second variation. The second variation for me still offers some defense with the CDMs, but the 2 strikers make a massive difference in allowing me to break people down. One thing that people don't seem to realise is part of the attack is your defensive style. If you are struggling to break people down or attack a lot, sometimes it might be because your defensive style is so negative, you've got such little depth, you're not pressing all that, you're barely getting the ball. So for me, when I want to go more attacking, this formation with press on heavy touch and higher depth helps me be more attacking because I'm winning the ball higher up the pitch. One of the things you'll see when Tex does his masterclass on Gamers Class that is really good is that Tex wins the ball so high up the pitch so often because he's aggressive, he presses high, he has high depth, and when he does this, it allows him to win the ball higher up the pitch and be more attacking naturally because of how his tactics are working. And then the other one obviously is offensive style. For me, I find balanced is the best to use in general, but if you're really struggling to break people down, fast build-up can be pretty good for quick counter-attacks. Long ball's good against the team press. So look at these, have an experiment with them, find what works for you. But yeah, like I said, watch my tactics videos I've done, because these will give you some advice and show you how I'm using them. And then the instructions, having things like getting behind, stay central, things that work for you, they're pretty important, because if you don't find something that works for you in a style that suits you, you're probably going to struggle. So number 2, to get better attacking, have the right tactics and look what works for you. The third tip that I'm going to give you is knowing when to dribble, how to dribble, and then taking the shot. So for me, this is where the weak foot comes in handy as well. There, a lot of people might shoot that way, and when they shoot that way, there's a very good chance that Lucas Hernandez is just going to block it. So here, this is where I just use the left stick dribbling, because I'm confident I can quickly turn. A quick turn there, I beat my man, and then I smash it near post. Watch this again. This is a really good way of attacking, by the way. Waiting for your striker to get in the space in the box. Quick turn there, quick turn there. And I knew there that if I turned twice, that I'd be able to beat him. This is where you have to get confident. And one thing I'd recommend is trying as much as possible, especially when you've got good players, to stick with them for a while, because you get to know how they turn, their shooting animations, also their limits, like what can they do. R9 obviously has a higher ceiling than pretty much any other player in the game right now, so he can do some crazy stuff. But having, like, Ben Yedder could score that goal there, especially with his weak foot. Having good weak foot also opens up the dribbling options a bit more. I'm going to show you another goal in a minute where I use good left stick dribbling. But in the box, you don't always have to have crazy skills in your locker. Just getting used to left stick dribbling, quick turns, can open up many chances. Here's another very simple one. There's not much complicated to this. Use a quick trick, quick little turn, and then finish. A lot of people here would shoot at this point. I'll show you which point I think a lot of people would shoot. They'd get there, and then they'd shoot. And from there, I think it goes in most of the time. But I do think on this game, occasionally, keepers might save it, or the shot sometimes just doesn't, the animation doesn't happen straight away, and defenders block it. So I try guarantee, because I know he's going to dive in there. A quick turn, I use a fake, a quick left stick turn, and then put it in the corner. There's no chance the keeper's saving that, and it's guaranteed. You could argue it's a little bit more risky, because the other one was probably a good chance, but I went for the guarantee. I was pretty certain my opponent wouldn't mark that. So left stick turning, using dribbling in the box, is a very good way to go for guaranteed goals and create better chances. Tip 4 is use pace. Pace is king on FIFA 21. You don't need to have a team like mine to have pace, because you can get so many cheap players. Like Rodrigo from Leeds has, like, I think 90 pace, and with a Hunter has 99. Quincy Promise, 99 pace with a Hunter. There's so many cheap players who are good enough to use that if you put a Hunter on them, they get 99 pace and still very good finishing. But using pace is massive. It's a key part of defending on this game, dragging players to mark pace. But look for the AI runs. You can see here, my Samuel Eto'o, I want him to go this way, curve his run and going that way. He makes a great run. It annoys me when it does that freeze thing on here. But watch this here. Samuel Eto'o there. I can see there he's making that run. I know he's going to have the pace to get in if the ball's good enough. I play the through ball. It's a great run. And from there, I know he's just ahead of the defender enough. He's probably going to be able to finish it. And it is an easy goal. This is so simple. It's one ball and you're in. A lot of people don't mark through balls in behind very well. Pace is really good down the wings. And it's very hard for defenders to block or intercept through balls down the wing. So use the through balls down the wing when you get chance. It's one of the reasons I love the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-3-1. You have lots of width. So make sure you use width. That could be a tip in itself, using width to create chances. But yeah, when your AI players are making these runs in behind, you need to pick them out, because so many easy, cheap goals come from pacey runs like this and defenders not being able to catch it. Guys, I'm going to let you into a secret. I don't want you to tell anyone, but this might be the most broken, OP way of scoring on FIFA 21. And the reason it's so OP, by OP I mean overpowered, is because hardly anyone knows about it. I don't see any pros, anyone else doing it. So keep it to yourself. The outside of the box finesse shot is unreal. If you have a pacey player anyway, you can put a hawk on him to get him 10 long shots, so you don't need the full hunter boost. Hawk still gives good physical pace and gives 10 long shots. If you have high long shots and finish on a player, these finesse shots are crazy. Watch this one here. Quick Cruyff turn, bang. You want to put 2.5 to 3 bars of power on, and you get so many cheap goals. People don't get that tight to people on the edge of the box because they do not expect people to hit these finesse shots. But I'm telling you, they are disgustingly crazy. Let me show you some clips, some highlights of how crazy they are. Okay, in this clip here, I'm going to show you some examples of how good the finesse shot is. What I will say is this is a bit more where team makes a difference. In the box from 10 yards, if you have anyone with decent finishing, pretty much everything goes in if you use the right shot. This is where the better players will shine more. But I'm noticing a lot of people are starting to get some pretty good teams. I hardly played any bad teams this weekend league. And like I say, with a Hawk, you can get pace, physical, and 10 long shots plus good finishing. It's going to make it a lot easier to hit some very good finesse shots. Someone like Samuel with a Hawk has 99 finishing long shots, and I think shot power. He has at least 94. I think it might be 99 as well. But I was playing a game against someone, and I scored an outrageous finesse shot. You'll see it's the first one. No, I don't think it's this one. In this here, I was recording some of them to try see what he can do. Watch this finesse here. I think this is it. At this point, the opponent was playing properly, and then I scored this. Look at this crazy angle. This is about 30 yards out. He has no right to score from here. But for me, this is just absolutely insane that this goes in. Here we go. Look at this. That is right in the top corner from like 30 yards out with a defender near him. Sometimes if the defender's near you, it just bends it round him almost perfectly. There is a bit more risk of it getting blocked. My opponent at this point was maybe a few goals down, I think, and he just put his controller down for the rest of the game. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to experiment and just try go for a few more finesses from crazy positions and see what happens. I'll show you here some of the highlights of some of them that went in. So this one, beat the keeper easily. There's another one that flew in. Keepers just struggled to do anything against these. Obviously, like I say, Samuel has great shooting stats. He has the finesse shot trait. I do think it is a lot more effective with the finesse shot trait, but you can do these with other players who don't have it. But it really is OP when you get a finesse shot trait. So go on a website like Footbin, Footwiz, look for players with a finesse shot trait. This is against Nick Pope, but over my weekend league, I tried this shot against people who had informed Courtois, Cech, Neuer, Oblak, ter Stegen, and it went in very consistently. And the thing that makes this so powerful is that no one marks it, no one seems to move the keeper against it, no one expects it. Well, this one here is crazy. That's another like 30 yards out. Just unstoppable, the keeper can't get near. No keepers on the game at the moment seem to be able to stop it. It's very strong. And in this game, I tested 10 from about 25 plus yards, and they all went in consistently, which is like, no, I think out of 10, 9 went in. 1 got saved. 90% success rate for a shot that is so far out and very hard to mark is crazy. I think this one was a really good one as well. Yeah, right in the corner. They just go in so much that when people don't expect it, no one's used to them, it is an amazing way of scoring. So like I say, practice these, get used to doing them. It could add a big part to your game. Yeah, this one's crazy. It was going wide and then curves in. One of the things that I think is big about this is the space that people give you. They won't expect it. Yes, from here, you're probably not going to be able to do it with Quincy Promise. It's not going to be that consistent like it is without. But from right on the edge of the box, where people do tend to give you the space, I do think this is going to be a viable way of scoring, opening people up and getting cheap goals. So it's worth practicing. And as your team gets better, you'll be able to do it very consistently. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching and supporting Gamers Class. For more videos like this, stay tuned.